May 1st, 1776, in the quiet town of Ingolstadt, Bavaria, a guy named Adam Weishaupt lights a shadowy flame. He calls it the Illuminati, Latin for the Enlightened Ones. Sounds noble, right? Like he's here to drag humanity out of the Dark Ages. But hold up, what's really behind that name? Weishaupt wasn't just tossing out cool words. He was a professor, stuffed with Enlightenment ideas, but there's a twist. A whiff of something darker, something Gnostic. Ever heard of Gnosticism? It's this old belief that the serpent in Eden wasn't the villain, it was the hero, handing out forbidden knowledge. So, is Illuminati a nod to that sneaky wisdom, the kind that wakes you up after biting the apple? Wait, it gets juicier. Weishaupt gave himself a nickname, Spartacus. Yep, that's Spartacus, the Roman slave who led a rebellion against the big shots. The name hits you with this gritty, rebellious vibe, like blood and iron. But here's the kicker, Sparta rings another bell. Ancient Greece's Sparta, a brutal place where boys were turned into war machines at age 7, raised to enslave the helots, the local underclass. Every year, Spartan teens even hunted down and killed those slaves for sport and control. So, when Weishaupt picked Spartacus, is he saluting freedom fighters or secretly eyeing Sparta's iron-fisted order? The Illuminati started as a flicker, hidden under the cloak of the Freemasons. Weishaupt timed it perfectly. Late 1700s, Europe's buzzing with Enlightenment chaos. He rallied scholars, nobles, and dreamers with slogans like reason over superstition and down with kings and priests. They whispered in code, held secret rituals, like players in a high-stakes underground game. But doesn't something feel off? Enlightenment sounds sweet, but didn't that serpent's gift get us kicked out of paradise? Spartacus fought for the oppressed. Yet Sparta thrived by crushing most of its people. What's Weishaupt's real game, lifting everyone up, or building a new elite to rule? History says the Illuminati didn't last long. In 1785, the Bavarian elector slammed down a ban, smashing the group to bits. Weishaupt had to flee. So, was that flame snuffed out for good? Or did it coil up like a snake, ready to strike again from the shadows? When he chose Spartacus, maybe Weishaupt planted a seed, one that could light up the world or burn it down. Was he a savior or a control freak dreaming of Sparta's grip? Stick around, the answer is not that simple.
Weishaupt's Illuminati lamp carried the serpent's cunning and Spartacus's fire. But a name's just a shell, what's the fuel inside? The Illuminati's mission sounded like a dream. Reason rules, no more church fog, no more royal chains, a world lit by knowledge. Utopia, right? Wrong. If you think Weishaupt was some starry-eyed poet, think again. His blueprint had a chilling edge, a set of rules so cold they'd make Sparta's warlords nod in approval. Here's how it worked. Weishaupt built a pyramid tight, strict layers from novices at the bottom to illuminated bosses at the top. Newbies swore blind loyalty, used codes and aliases, hid their real names. Their job? Slip into the Freemasons like snakes into a burrow, spreading his ideas on the down low. He even wrote a rule book members had to report in, loyalty carved into their bones. This ain't no freedom torch, it's a mind barracks. Now, picture Sparta, boys ripped from their moms at 7, drilled in boot camps, brainwashed with obedience. Grown up, they'd hunt helots to prove their grit. Sound familiar? The Illuminati preached enlightenment, but it wasn't a fruit for all, just a whip for the few. Weishaupt believed only the elite could handle truth, the rest were logs waiting to be sparked. He wrote it himself, human ignorance is the foundation and the chosen steer the ship. That's Sparta all over. Citizens lived cushy by enslaving helots who never got a sniff of power. The Illuminati, sure, it aimed to topple old tyrants, but it was crafting a new pyramid, same enlightened few on top, same clueless crowd below. The serpent's knowledge wasn't freedom, it was a trap. Bite it, and you're chained. But wait, this plot thickens. From 1776 to 1785, they went from a handful to thousands, spreading across Bavaria and beyond. That kind of speed isn't just talk, it's steel hard organization. Historians dug up records, members faced brutal tests, fail and you're out, like Sparta calling the weak. They wanted to reshape society, but into what? Equality for all, or just a new boss to bow to?
The Illuminati's Enlightenment pyramid was blazing until Bavaria's government kicked it down. In 1785, Elector Karl Theodor swung the hammer, banning the group as dangerous. Books went up in flames. Members got nabbed or scattered, and Weishaupt, our Spartacus, hightailed it to the Duchy of Saxe-Go to Altenburg for cover. On the surface, that fire got doused snap, crackle, done. But hold on, does a blaze like that just fizzle out, or did it slither away, shedding its skin in the dark? Zoom in on the chaos. The band hit hard raids tore the headquarters apart, snagging codes, rosters, Weishaupt scribbles, proof piled up. But here's the weird part. Nothing says the Illuminati was wiped out for good. Historians later found Weishaupt didn't quit. He kept writing in exile, preaching his gospel like a stubborn old fox. And those fleeing members? They didn't vanish, they seeped into the Freemasons, quiet as water into sand, carrying Illuminati seeds far and wide. Think of Sparta. It never shut down, but its grip relied on hidden pressure. Did the Illuminati borrow that playbook, fall in public, sharpen knives in private? Here's where it bends. Just years later, in 1789, the French Revolution exploded. Same cries of reason and liberty the Illuminati loved. People started whispering, is this their ghost at work? Take John Robison, a Scottish scholar in 1798. His book Proofs of a Conspiracy claimed the Illuminati didn't die, it hid in the Freemasons, lighting the revolution's fuse. No smoking gun, but that idea stuck like a thorn. Back to Sparta, those trained kids looked like guardians, but they secretly stalked and slashed helots. Were Illuminati survivors playing the same game, cloaked in enlightenment? So where'd they run? Records don't say game over. Hints point to Germany, France, Italy. Word is, their ideas floated like a breeze into groups like Italy's Carbonari, secretive, rigid, Weishaupt style all over them. Coincidence? Or a planted legacy? History ties a knot here, and the fog won't lift. So that 1785 fire got stomped out, or did it just shed its skin and slink off? Let's follow those scattered sparks and see what they torched in history's shadows. The Illuminati lost its signboard, but its ghost lingered like a wraith in the mist. Some say it crept into 19th century secret clubs and even drifted into today's elite power circles. Wild. Huh? Let's peel back the haze. Take the 19th century revolutions and conspiracies were everywhere. Post-French Revolution, shadowy groups popped up. Italy's Carbonari, begin the 1820s, fought kings with underground plots and military-tight rules, freedom and reason on their lips. Just like the Illuminati, Germany's Young Germany crew in the 1830s played the secret meeting game too. Rumor has it, some of their leaders tied back to the Freemasons, the Illuminati's old hideout. Could these be Weishaupt's embers, catching on new wood? Then come the symbols. The all-seeing eye on the US dollar there since 1776 got conspiracy buffs buzzing by the late 1800s. Illuminati calling card. That pyramid top feels like Sparta's cold stare over the helots, watching everything. Historians link it to Freemasonry, but the vibe's creepy knowledge as control, pure Illuminati style. Fingers also point at tycoons like the Rothschilds, whispered to pull Europe's economic strings in the 19th century with Illuminati backing. No proof, but that elite stirring scent mirrors Sparta's noble clique. Fast forward to the 20th century, things heat up. In 1954, the Bilderberg meeting kicks off. Bigwigs plotting behind closed doors, no press allowed. Then 1973 brings the Trilateral Commission, linking US, Europe, and Japan's elites. No spooky rituals, but that few decipher mini vibe. Doesn't it echo the Illuminati's enlightened chiefs? Sparta trained a handful to dominate the masses. Sound familiar? People mutter, are these modern clubs the Illuminati in a new suit, grinning in the shadows? But hang on, is it just symbols and meetings? Or did its ideas find their way into something bigger? From 19th century rebels to 20th century powwows, it's all about knowledge is power. The serpent's apple trick. Did it wake us up? Or lock us in new chains? We've chased the Illuminati's sparks from old secret clubs to today's power hubs, wild grass that keeps sprouting. Time to catch our breath and ask, what's the deal? Is the Illuminati that serpent lighting up humanity? Or a Spartan tyrant in Enlightenment's clothes? Truth's like a veiled dancer, elusive as heck. The bright side? When Weishaupt sparked it in 1776, he yelled reason over tyranny. Europe was choking under priests and kings back then. His ideas were a jolt, maybe even fanning the French Revolution's flames. But flip the coin, that light didn't reach everyone. Weishaupt said it himself, most folks are sheep for the enlightened to herd. His pyramid set up, straight out of Sparta, helots crushed below, a few lording above. The serpents give sweet knowledge, sure, but laced with poison. You wake up, only to find a leash. History drops a hint. Sparta's iron fist lasted centuries, then crumbled from rot and rivals. If the Illuminati took that path, how long could it stand? The Carbonari, Bilderberg all carry that elite driver stench, but does it last? Maybe the Illuminati's real face is a fogged-up riddle, a play where the curtain falls and we're still guessing the star. So, saviors or new Spartans? You tell me. But watch out, today's enlightened hotshots might just be sharpening blades in the dark, ready for a Spartan encore.